He went gangsta on him. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad and raised up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who I believe is the man who came and woke millions of us up by giving us the knowledge of ourselves. I believe we was ripped or stripped from the knowledge of ourselves, the knowledge of our names, our cultures, etc. For lack of better words, we was damn near treated like dogs. And I'll give you guys an example. I don't know how many of y'all ever stole a dog in here before. They can't be sold, don't anyway. But when you steal a dog, the first thing usually you do, you may beat the dog or chain the dog up, right? After you beat the dog and you chain the dog up, oftentimes you give the dog a name. After you beat the dog and you give the dog a name and then you begin to beat the dog in submission, that dog may have tried to get away from you because at first it realized that you wasn't even his master, right? So he was at first trying to get away. But after you beat it so much and then you chain the dog up and then you may even begin to feed it a little bit. You begin to feed it and you put it in a home a little bit. After you do those things, after a while, that dog begins to start to protect you. When at first you was the one who's not even his owner and you was beating him at first. Now let's look at our condition. Who's chained up? I don't know who last name Johnson. I don't know who last name Jones and Petty. These are all slaves, slave masters' name that we now have, that we are now, glorifying. And, because they give us certain foods, because they give us certain housing, and because they may give us a little job, now we are now defending them who was once our slave master. Now we're once defending them who was once our oppressor, and we have lost the knowledge of ourselves. So he gave us the knowledge of self, which produces the love for self. The proper love for self produces the respect for self. Because I was taught that you can't love what you don't know. How many mothers in the house tonight? How many of y'all mothers, if y'all heard y'all son or daughter in a burning house crying, wouldn't care nothing about them flames? Raise your hand. They won't care nothing about them flames because the level of love that you have for the child. It's kind of like we don't have love for ourselves. See, we can get a new Benz. I'm talking about a new Benz Less. We're going to put the premium gas in that bad boy. Make sure we got the brother got to be, he's going to put the best oil in there, right? But we go to a restaurant to get an organic salad and let that thing be $9.99. I'm going to go with the nuggets, man. That's too much. But why is it that I can spend more money for a car and spend more money to protect my car and my home, but I don't want to protect myself? Because if I don't protect myself, I won't be able to enjoy that car anyway. That's because we have lost the knowledge of ourselves. Once we have the love for self, that produces respect for self. See, oftentimes we wonder why we are doing what we do in our community, and we have a lot of self-hatred. And I believe it's the knowledge of self that kind of eradicates this self-hatred that we have. Because all the time, if I look in the mirror and all I see is a nigga, when I look at you, all I'm going to see is what? I'm going to see a nigga as well, because you just a reflection of me. In fact, if you look at the word brother, there's a reason I always make sure they don't just say Ben X. I make sure they say brother Ben X. But because before entrepreneur, before all the other things I've done, I'm a brother first. Because when you look at the word brother, you have the word other in there. You the other me. So you wonder why, how come this young brother going down the street and all he want to do is fight? How come this brother going down the street or this sister going down the street and all they want to do is down somebody? That's because every morning they fighting themselves. That's because every morning they doubt themselves. But when I have the knowledge of self and I have the love for self, I want you to have that same thing too. And they say misery loves company. They say misery loves company, right? So anybody who's trying to bring me down is already beneath me. So that's how we have to look at it, man. The knowledge of self, I believe, is so important because it gives us vision. It gives us something to hope for. Like, for example, everybody know who Abraham Lincoln is, right? Who is Abraham Lincoln? Anybody know? Raise your hand if you know who Abraham Lincoln is. Who is Abraham Lincoln, young brother? Okay, who is Marcus Garvey? See what I'm saying? They have teachers by Albert Einstein, They'll teach us about all the ones who was also slave masters as well. But they won't teach us about ourselves. And I started to wonder, and I was listening to my brother the other day, and he spoke about how they built these universities so they can pass the knowledge down. Right. But where's our knowledge at? Yeah. So what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did for me is he put me in the picture of life. So if I took a picture of this whole room, who's the first person y'all look for? Yourself. Come on now, it ain't vanity if you're looking for yourself. Right? You're gonna make sure. We got my good side. Make sure your makeup good. Make sure your hair flip back. You're going to look at yourself. Well, a lot of our children, a lot of our youth are interested in the education because they don't see themselves in the picture. Come on now. I have to begin to see myself in the picture. And when I see myself in the picture and I see what we used to do in history, all the great things we used to do that they stole, now I can see where I have a chance to go. But if all I am as a slave, no wonder the only thing we want is jobs. If all you telling me about is how I used to serve somebody, no wonder all I want to do is get a job. See, they keeping us like that so they can keep all the wealth, and then we can be poor complaining why Donald Trump ain't got to pay taxes. There's a reason he ain't got to pay taxes. Y'all got that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki, where he talks about if you're a businessman or an investor, then you ain't got to pay taxes. But guess what? That's being fed to my mom. And now that's being fed to me to what? Go to school, come on, get a good job, get some good grades, so you can get a good job. I'm going to tell y'all about me. I'll tell y'all a little story about me. I said, man, I'm not going to go to school no 12 years, so I can go do the same thing when I get older. You know, don't want to wake up in the morning. You know how it is in the morning. Parents got to call you 4 or 5 times in the morning. I don't want to go through that. So I was working at FedEx. Now, first I was working at Sterling. Basically, I was working at slavery. It was a hot job. Listen, not real. It was a warehouse job. We had no AC. Listen, this is how they tricked me though. Listen, man, you're gonna get paid $12 an hour. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get paid $12 an hour. You're gonna work 12 hours a day. I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing 12 times 12. We know that math, 144. Okay, that's easy money. I'm not making this kind of money. So when I come in the first six hours of the day, this is during Ramadan too. Ramadan, if y'all don't know, is where we don't eat or drink during the day. So I'm trying to be hard at work too. So we're working at the warehouse job. They got somebody who's working with me the whole time. So basically, Sterling is those buckets that y'all have. The little buckets, the little containers. So they got the buckets coming down. As the buckets are coming down, you gotta make a box to push through the little container with the tape. So as the buckets coming down, you got these wheels that you gotta put on the buckets. Then I gotta make the box, put the buckets in the box, and push this through. I didn't have to do this for 6 hours. I'm just doing the buckets the first time. She doing the box. Oh, that's pretty easy. I'm gonna be eating. Okay, after the 6 hours, she like, okay, you got it from here. I'm like, what you talking about? I got this the whole time. So I have to do all this whole entire time. Y'all know I quit that job within 3 days. But before, it was about 3 weeks. But the thing is, before that, my dad and my brother and my uncle worked there. They quit. They said, man, you ain't gonna be the last of them. I'm like, look here, man, the black man is God. Look here, I'm gonna show you how this thing works. And then the lady, I'm sitting here working. The lady telling me, you need some water? You look tired. I'm like, oh no, I'm fasting. I'm good. Man, that's 7th hour. I'm getting wine punch. I'm getting ice water, everything, man. So I began to see that ain't what I wanted to do. After I quit that job, I went over to FedEx. Now this is what really gave me the epiphany that I'm not ready for that. So as I'm working at FedEx, all these boxes is coming down, and I'm throwing all the boxes on the truck. If anybody work at FedEx, y'all know how hard that can be. You gotta pick up some heavy stuff. So I thought to myself one day, I said, Brother Ben, look here. Myself said, what's up, man? What you got going on? I said, if I have the tenacity to come and give y'all 120% next week, the whole week, I'm throwing 800 boxes on the truck every day. What would your paycheck be? Myself said, man, it's going to be the same as it was last week. I said, man, it's time for us to be an entrepreneur, man. It's time for us to go and do something for ourselves. Not only have I been able to do that, I've been able to pay the bills for my wife and my 2 children. Going on 5 years, she ain't paid one bill since I took that job. But what I realized is, and as I'm hearing the brother's testimony, is that adversity is the mother of creativity. I want y'all to repeat that after me. Adversity is the mother of creativity. See, the brother said that he lost his brother. And in losing his brother, he came up with a plan, or he came up with an idea that it's time for me to make a change. And it may have happened this time, but what? Not this time. So whatever you have been through in life, don't allow that to hold you down. Let that be the kind of like the, what they call like a rubber band. When you put that rubber band back and then you let it go and it's time for you to move forward, that's how I look at life. Everything we have been through is only preparing you for where you're going. You never know really what the light looked like until you've been in some kind of darkness. So that's how I feel our community is. We have been through so much, but that's what makes us so great, because you can put me in the hood. I've been in the hood all this time, so now when you put me in any other condition, it can't be no worse than what I went through. You know how, if the light get turned off, hey, go get them counters. Let's hit them counters up. We know how to improvise. So we have to be able to do the same thing, you know, with our lives. And the reason I'm so happy to be on a panel with these two sisters is because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, a nation rises no higher than its woman.
That's right.
Than its woman. I don't care if you like Michael Jordan, I don't care if you like Fred Hampton, I don't care if you like Marcus Garvey, all of them came through what? The womb of a woman.
Yeah, that's right.
So we have to begin to connect with the woman in order to do this work. And as men, the reason I'm here, and I believe it's all of our responsibility, is because we have to have a plan. The sister began to quote the scripture. The scripture. I said the Christian. You got me thinking about it. The scriptures say that she's to help me, right?
That's right.
Let me tell y'all this. A woman can't help us do nothing.
Right.
Y'all didn't clap with that one. Let me see. Let me slow it down, then maybe y'all will understand. So she can't help us do nothing, meaning if we not being productive, then they ain't even, I mean, they outdoing us. So they setting that standard, and I believe whenever we looking at a man, we have to look at the man as the example. When I say the man, I never was talking about the white man. I hate when we say that. You know the man looking at, listen, I'm talking about the God when I say
That's
that.
right, that's
So
right.
when you look at the man, God is already provided.
Yes.
When we got here, family, the fruits already came from the trees, didn't it? He didn't spoil us. See, you know, he ain't spoiled to give us everything, because that can make us lazy. But what he did was he prepared it before we even came into existence. So us as men have to think the same way. So when I come in order for me to get some fruits, I'm going to have to dig. I'm going to have to plant a seed. I'm going to have to put water on it. I'm going to have to cultivate it. I'm going to have to look at it. But the point is, he's already put it there. So when I was thinking about that job, I said, I can't hand no job down to my son. I was an All-American basketball player. I don't care how good I was. I could have went to the NBA. I can't tell the coach, hey man, let my son come run PG for you. He ain't looking at that. So in order for me to be able to pass something down to my son, I have to build something through my mindset. So you don't make more money with money. You're just going to get more debt that way. You have to make more money by using our brain. Every situation has came from our mindset. When you look at Uber, and when she's talking about she got Lyft, somebody solved the problem. I was listening to T.D. Jakes one time, now that she mentioned T.D. Jakes. I was listening to T.D. Jakes one time, and he said every solution survives because there's a problem. You got a dentist because somebody got a toothache. A doctor because somebody got an illness. There's a mechanic there because somebody got a messed up car. So instead of us just talking about the problems that the brothers say, let's bring about a business solution. When I look at entrepreneurship to me is simple. You got a problem plus entrepreneur equal to problem solved. What problem did Lyft solve? When you look at Lyft, somebody had a car that was a liability that was taking money out, and they didn't know how to make that an asset. So when Lyft said, hey man, you got this car, I know you sitting at the house chilling, you eating chips, you watching them on TV doing their thing with the march and everything, let me show you how you can make some money. Then somebody over there later, they still calling grandma, grandma, can you come pick me up for work? She say, boy, sit down somewhere. And so Uber said, well listen, I know you ain't got no car. For whatever reason, you keep messing these cars up. They got a car. Now they got Lyft, and they making money off solving this problem. Same thing with the Airbnb. Somebody got a home, and they always traveling, right? They ain't making no money as they traveling. somebody else, they tired of coming to hotels, they want to be in a peaceful place, so now they give somebody home, they got their problem solved, and then the person who has the home, now they have their problem solved because now they're making money. So in our community, don't just look at our problems, think about how I can be the solution. I have to be the change that I want to see. And also speaking of the fruits and the men, I think there's a way that we can see the difference between a man and a boy. Because I agree with the brother. He said, you know, it's not just because you turn 18, because you may be 40 something, you still a boy. Because it's all about the mindset. And my Captain Dennis said a man is not somebody who runs away from accountability and responsibility. He's a man that runs to it. The minister in fact said that you don't run from difficulty, you don't duck the difficulty, you go to the difficulty, and in doing that, that's where the ease is. So if I'm talking about this fruit now, how many of y'all vegans in here? Oh, you vegetarian, you eat your, she said, no, not me, I ain't let it go yet. I ain't let it go yet. But you eat the watermelon, y'all know it's watermelon season, right? Now if I got 2 watermelons here, you don't know which one is real until you cut it open. So in life, sometimes you gotta be tried. The minister said that, you know, in order to figure out who you are, you have to be tried. Right. You look good shadow boxer, oh, you got your uppercut right, but you get in that ring, get knocked cold, smooth out, because you didn't have nobody fighting against you. So when you got 2 watermelons here, both look green, don't they? Both red on the inside, but one of them got the black seeds. That's the one that's going to produce something. So the one that got the black seeds, or the man that's able to produce, or the male that's able to produce, to me, that's what a man is. A man is somebody who's a provider. A man is somebody who really ain't got too many excuses. A man is somebody who's a maintainer. I'm talking about maintaining not just financially, but we got to do it spiritually and mentally. I mean, we got to have some kind of knowledge. If all we got for us, I don't know, when she come to us, then hell, she might well go be with somebody else. We have to have some kind of guidance and wisdom to guide the family, which means that we have to have a destination. How many of y'all ever had used your GPS today to get here? When you put your GPS in, let's say you had somebody that was in your passenger seat. Now you know Siri got the satellite. They know when somebody done wrecked. They know when the police around these days. They real smart with the technology. Let's say they had somebody in the passenger seat and they said go left, but Siri said go straight. What you gonna do?
I'm going straight.
You gonna go straight? Why you gonna go straight?
What's serious?
How many of y'all would go left? Raise your hand.
They don't know where they're going.
Okay, let me see. Why would you say go left?
Because I don't depend on the GPS. I look at the camera now.
See, why you ain't gonna listen to it? I just told y'all they got the satellite, and they said, "Lisa, I'm not gonna listen to it."
But why?
But no, that's fine. That's good though. No, that's good though, because sometimes you know the person in the passenger seat, they say, "Man, I got the shortcut, man. Bust this left, go through this alley, you gonna get smoothed up." Not knowing they done put a dead end there. Man, you got caught. But that's a. But look, that's what that's what happened in our community though. But see, sometimes you got somebody who want to make some money, then you got somebody in the passenger seat say, "Go left, let's go rob this store real quick." Now you're gonna make the money, it's gonna be quick, but it's the wrong way. Now what's gonna happen if you did go left though? Because sometimes we all fall short, right? All fall short of glory of God, is that right? So if we go left, what is your Siri gonna say?
Reroute.
Ooh, it's gonna say reroute. So we have to have a spiritual GPS that's just like that.
That's right.
So what I'm saying is, in life sometimes you may go left, but if I don't have a destination, I don't know how to get back.
That's
See, so sometimes even if you got that destination, just like my sister said, say, "Brother Ben, let's go rob this store." Man, shit, my Siri say go straight. I want to help people. I want to motivate people. I can't do that if I go left. You know, you telling me to go rob somebody and kill somebody. I can't do that if I go left. So we have to have a destination in our mind. And when we have that destination in our mind, now we able to determine which way we gonna get there.
That's right.
Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't drive down there. I gotta catch that flight. My sister says she gotta go somewhere today. I bet you she gonna catch that flight. She ain't gonna get no Uber there because she has to get there at a certain amount of time. So what I mean is we gotta put a time period on our goals.
That's
if
right.
I never put a time period on my goal, I can always procrastinate.
That's right.
I'm always, and when developing our goals and in developing our ideas, it's almost like a baby. How many of y'all ever been pregnant in here today? Don't be ashamed. How many of y'all have ever been pregnant in here today and you didn't want anybody to know, so you tried to hide it with one of them dresses? Anybody? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real now. She kept it real, I'm gonna keep it real. So if you have this dress that's covering up the baby, you may not tell anybody, and it may be good not to tell somebody, because what's going to happen is they may give you a seed that'll make you try to abort your baby. See, you know, girl, you know, you ain't going to be able to go to the club no more. See, girl, he going to leave you, girl. See, let me tell you all the stuff I'm going through. Well, that's the same thing when you trying to start a business. That's the same thing when you trying to start an organization. In fact, most people call their first business a what? This is my baby. So let me tell you about that whole situation. When you got somebody who tries to doubt you and drop seeds of doubt. See, you may not be able to see it when it's underdeveloped in the first months, but after 8 months, could you hide it after 8 months? Nope. You couldn't hide it then. Why? Because it was already developed. So now it don't matter what you say to me anyway, because my dream is already developed. I ain't even got to tell y'all what I'm going to do. It's already here and you can see the work. So the brother ain't got to tell you not this time. He ain't got to keep saying it. He done already proved to it. Boy, it ain't going to happen this time. It ain't going to happen no more. So please give that brother another round of applause. So in order to begin to change the way that we're doing things, we have to get back down to the root. And I always say the root is my mindset. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, every action is led by a conscious thought. And I'm going to put this on you. He said, we can't continue to blame the white man. I know y'all didn't expect that from him. That's what he said. See, y'all got to have a comprehensive knowledge of what he teaches us. He don't just say blame the white man. He said that it's on us now. Yeah. Because he said if we killed all white people, not saying that's what we going to do now, of course not. You know, but he said if we did that,
I'll be on the internet this week.
They'll still be in power. How they going to be in power? He said, because you got black white folks around here. You got some who's black with black skin, but got the slave master mindset inside of them. So you may have somebody up there who's a symbol, but ain't got no substance. So that's how we have to look at things. We have to come back to the reprogramming, and I'm gonna give y'all a story that we're gonna get out here, you know, because I know she's gonna bring it all the way home. So look, there was a man who was writing an essay. He wanted to get this essay done. Once he printed this essay, he saw that it had a typo. So he marked out the typo. He went back into his program, hit print, it came back out, it was the same typo. Now this time he said, man, give me some white out, man. We're gonna do some white out this time. He whited it out, went back to the program, he reprinted it, and it's the same typo. So he's wondering, so he asked his mentor, man, what's going on, man? I keep having the same typo. He said, oh man, that's easy. You gotta go back into the program. And once you change the programming there at the root, then when you print it out, you will have a whole different result. So I believe that's why mindset is so important, because all the time we keep looking at the effect of things. See, like you keep saying that I'm overweight because, you know, it just run in my family. No, y'all just don't run in the family. You know, you got the makeup. So you got, you know, we got the bumps on your face and we got that. You keep covering up with the makeup. No, God didn't fail when making you. You didn't care what I'm saying, because in school, if I messed up, I had to do a makeup test. Well, I think y'all already beautiful without makeup. Yeah. So once you begin to just change your diet, drink more water, eat right, then you're going to change that condition. Instead of masking the problem, we're going to fix the problem. Instead of coping with the problem, we're going to heal the problem. Assalamu alaikum.